Okay.
I filled my car.
I haven't done it yet.
Ian's not here.
It's,
It looks like everyone else.
But I think just saying that,
but that's the cards we're dealt. We got
I wasn't even in our charter to
About 6 months in
thank God.
Oh, you got that, Courtney?
My daughter has hers.
We're live.
I am going to read what I presented.
Barn already.
We're gonna start, Larry.
Yeah.
It's a camera.
It's so that you guys know.
Oh, what is it? It's not a camera? Oh, I thought it was. All right. Everyone could take their seats, please. All right. I'd like to call the Ravenna regular meeting of City Council for May 4th to order. The first item on the agenda is a moment of meditation and silence. You join me with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Ms. Gregor, could you call the roll?
Mr. Kelfi,
Here.
Ms. West, Mr. Moskin,
Yes.
Ms. Lodato,
here.
Mr. Maravich, Ms. Michael,
Here.
Mr. Harper.
Here.
Okay, I got notice that Ms. West and Mr. Maravich couldn't make it tonight. Could we get a motion to excuse both of them?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, next item on our agenda is delegations from the public. Nobody communicated with us in advance saying they wanted to speak, but if there's anybody here tonight in person who would like to present to council, please step up to the podium. Okay, not seeing anybody, we'll move on. So the next item is approval of the agenda. One thing I'd like to do is remove ordinance 2026-73 from the consent agenda. We have some issues we need to address with that. Does anybody else have any other changes they'd like to make to the agenda? Hearing none, can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, the agenda is approved. The next item is the consent agenda. In the consent agenda, we didn't have any communications. We just have our regular meeting minutes from April 6th, as well as some ordinances that we discussed during our committee of the whole meeting. Let me get out the motion wording. Is there a motion to dispense with the requirements of the city charter and the revised code of Ohio with reference to reading on 3 different days and adopting emergency clauses and approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Let's have a roll call.
Mr. Kelfi,
Yes.
Ms. Michael,
Yes.
Mr. Moskin,
Yes.
Ms. Lodato,
Yes.
Mr. Harper.
Yes.
All right, the consent agenda is approved. Next item is our invited city official. Tonight, Ms. Lawrence, our finance director, is on tap to give us a presentation, how our finances are going in the city.
Sure, and I'm going to sit here if you don't mind.
Yep.
Had a long week and don't have very many people in here, so, and I'm going to be reading a lot of this. I didn't have time to practice.
That's okay.
Thanks for having me, first of all. Thank you very much. Just a few things on our department that, in general, I always like to tell you kind of some of the things that we're really concentrating on. We're really trying to improve our internal control processes around reporting, payroll accuracy, those kind of things, because with our state auditors being in here, there's a lot of little things that we've found that will improve processes. So we've really been working on a lot of internal controls. We have been working through the audit, as you guys have seen, like your fraud things that came to you, and the audit's going very smoothly. We are going to be done early this year, and so I'm very happy to report that. And we've been doing a lot more close monitoring of revenues and expenditures. Our office staff's getting more seasoned about what they're looking at, so I think that's a great help for our city. One of the things that goes along with that is fraud prevention, and I just want to touch briefly on this and give you some stats in the audit at the Auditor of State's office. They have, since 2019, had 140-plus fraud convictions. They've had over 13 million in restitution ordered, more than 18 million recovered for Ohioans within municipalities and villages and all. And I think that's has a lot to do with all of the things that we've implemented. You guys yourselves had to do some fraud, a small amount of training. We are sent things almost monthly on things that we have to watch for with the fraud. Those numbers are increasing across the state still, so we are supposed to have a strong internal control. Some of the ways we do internal controls within our own department are the segregation of duties that we do, some of the dual approvals we do, the reconciliations. We have a lot of red flags that we watch for. And one of the mottos I kind of go with is we want to make fraud difficult and easy to detect. So that's what kind of our goal is within finance. Another thing that I wanted to bring up, as we're going through, I pulled out our income tax for 2026. Right now, we're on trend for a 1.8% increase over the year, which isn't bad. 2 to 3% is kind of what I had budgeted for, but right now we're looking at about 1.8. So we'll see where that keeps going as the quarters go along. And our general fund is still really strong. We finished this past month with 7.8 million in the general fund. So that we watch that number pretty regularly, as the mayor knows. So that's still looking good. One of the things I wanted to mention is, as we talk more about budgets and the future and what's going to go on in the city, is there is, we could hire a municipal advisor or an investment firm to watch more closely at our finances. They would help with investment strategies, long-term financial planning. I'm not, a financial advisor. I don't know, the ins and outs. We have we use multi-bank for our government investments, and he advises, but he doesn't look at our whole portfolio. So that's something that it's just an option that we can always think about doing for long-term planning. Of course, there's a cost to that, but you have to look at the cost and maybe the return that they would bring back to you. Just an option that I wanted to mention to you all. 10 years ago, we didn't have the money to think about so much. Now that we have a better financial position, it's probably something that we could consider.
Ms. Lawrence, is it okay to have questions while you're going? On the multi-bank, is that the state-run program for investing our
Star
cash?
Ohio might be what you're thinking of.
Okay.
For that, and we do have money in Star Ohio.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Multi-bank is, that's mostly U.S. obligations, Treasury, UST notes, that kind of thing.
and how much money do we have on deposit in our accounts that of our excess money?
Of our carryover balance, there's 21 million in those investments.
Those investments. Okay, thank you.
So that's so funny, because I looked it up, and I haven't taken a poll of like ones around me, but there's nothing at the state level. All I can find is that they are more common than they used to be, but there's no stats on how many do have them, so I'll see if I can find more data on this. Another thing I wanted to bring up, I know I had mentioned this to some of you, is we've been working feverishly on the One Big Beautiful Bill Act that has imposed requirements on the overtime premium deductions. We have spent countless and countless hours, and I recently talked to Bricker and Graydon legal to get some legal advice. So this law, when they put it into place, has been really hard because you have to, this overtime premium deduction is based on federal labor standards, 40-hour work weeks, but with our CBAs and all of our union agreements, they are based on overtime on the day, and so it's caused a lot of reconciliation and massive spreadsheets for us. We still have some questions that we're getting legal advice on to confirm that we're doing everything right, but this is across the board. I mean, as most municipalities. We're all kind of tag team, but it's caused quite a lot of stir for municipalities and how we're going to do this. And we are required to report it on the W-2 next year. So it's going to become a compliance issue if we don't do it correctly. So we're working right now with that to make sure we're doing everything right. One of the things that's brought up is we met a couple weeks ago with ADP just to present, just to get an idea of what time and attendance systems are going to would cost. Because right now we still do payroll on a manual basis. We enter timesheets. We're very efficient at it, but to have a time and attendance system would be a lovely thing for us, and it would help us with this overtime tax premium too. So we're working with ADP. They're, just because everybody knows them, they are one of the biggest companies, and municipalities work most with ADP because they understand the union agreements and that kind of thing. Some of the smaller payroll companies don't have that technical, they can't work with some of the payrolls and the complications of payrolls we have. So if we get to a point where we're going to do anything like this, it'll have to come to council. It's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be over 25,000, right around 30 is the first quote that I got, but we'll let you guys know if we get to a point where we have a company. We were also looking at precinct manager, which is what Jake uses currently for his scheduling over at the police station. So there is a possibility with that. But that doesn't offer us some of the employee portal stuff that we would really like to. If we're going to get something, we'd like to get something that has an employee portal and can also help maybe HR with some of the new hire functions as well. So that is one of our projects that we think we're going to have to do, considering some of this the federal laws that have required us to do these odd calculations, and that's going to help us. It's either that or spending so much time internally doing a lot of manual calculations. So,
Ms. Lawrence, is the reason we haven't gone to a payroll system like ADP or one of those in the past is that we could do it cheaper ourselves, or what was the trade-off about? Because it seems, that most
there's a toss-up.
equivalent organizations have a payroll system.
Yeah, it's you have both. I have talked to ones that still do it in-house, and then there are some that do use ADP, like Streetsboro uses ADP. Aurora uses another company, but then there's other ones that don't use of service. Cost, I mean, I guess, cost has probably been
Was
some
the
of
main
it,
thing? Okay.
Yeah, Paychex is like the next, to ADP, I think. So, yeah, I mean, we'll look at others.
But I like have an app on my phone and a portal, and there's all.
Right, yes, that's what we'd like, yeah. And that could be something that we do with the finance committee, possibly. When I get to that point, it'd be something that we could discuss there. Couple other things, just some things that are on the back burner for us are just, we're working on updating policies, a workflow with policies and some cross-training, trying to standardize some of our forms, things like that. And then coming up this month, we're going to start talking about the tax budget, which will be due to the county in July. So along with that goes the same thing we've been talking about, budgets and all of that. And one of the things, if we do the tax budget now, I'm considering changing the way we do our permanent budget process. Right now, we do a temporary budget at the beginning of January, and that's our tax budget that we pass in July. And then we don't do the permanent budget until February and March. It's more common, Carmen had mentioned to me, why don't you do it at the end of the year? It's a timing thing. It is all it really is. It's just how we've always done it here. So I'm considering changing that process and doing the permanent budget at the end of the year. It would help us to see on January 1, like the true budget, at the very beginning. You might have a bigger true-up of sorts in February and March for some of the projects that were, Bob Finney's not here. He's one that I know would be like, what are you doing? Because sometimes the projects that come through, they don't know about until you get a little bit further into the year. But it might help us see into the future a little bit better. So something, Rob, I could talk again with the Finance Committee, and we could talk about that a little bit. Yeah, sure.
Sorry, from a council perspective, I think that if you're presented with a permanent budget
in, like on this time, it was the last meeting we could have legally passed it. If somebody has an issue with something, it's like you feel this pressure, well, I can't really say anything because we need to have it passed by this legal deadline, where if you initiate that process sooner, if somebody wants to change anything or do anything, you have that time to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a timing thing, no matter when you do it, but I think it'd give us more time in the year to, a bigger look at the whole year. So we'll talk about that. I talked about the ADP time and attendance. I think that's pretty much it. Is there any other questions? Patty?
What's the biggest challenge facing the department right now?
Honestly, I think it's just, there's a lot going on. One of my girls has spent most of her time on that overtime premium deduction. So it's the flow of things, honestly. Keeping everything, well, and to be honest, the beginning of the year is always hard. So the audit we've been flowing with the audit so quickly between the GAAP auditors that we're sending stuff to get our financial statements done, and that'll be filed soon, and then the auditor state with W-2s to 1099s. The beginning of the year just kind of blurs for me. So that's one of the biggest challenges. To me, it's determining the most important things, and I have a lot of departments and a lot of requests, and I just thought today about Rob asking me about what we're going to do with the cannabis revenue. And there's another thing, and I'm getting back to him on that. It's prioritizing the most important things, because there's always so much day to day. What's most important on our plate at any given time.
The last 2 years that you've made a presentation, we've talked about staffing, and staffing was kind of in flux, that there was a position short or someone new. Where are we with staffing right now in the department?
You know what? We are good right now. We have Sarah, who's been here for 4 years now. Christy Elliott is my assistant finance director. She's very good. She is the one that's working on the overtime premium. So she's very good. She's very detailed. She's been here for a year, March. And then we have Chrissy, who's been here for about 9 months. She does mostly like receivables and extra projects and extra things like that. And Brian Huff comes in here and there to help us with special things too, still on a part-time basis.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? No. Thanks for doing such a good job. I could talk about a million things if you want to, but we'll keep it short tonight. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Ms. Lawrence. We'll move on in the agenda. The next item is report of committees. Committee meetings will start 6 o'clock, May 11th, a week from tonight. Perhaps a little late. I'll explain later about the scheduling of a special meeting before our committee meetings. But for reports, first up is utilities. Mr. Moskin.
Thus far, there'll be one topic on the agenda for next week.
Okay. Mr. Mavrich isn't here to give us a report on information systems, and I'm not aware of anything going on there. Planning, Ms. Lodato?
Yes, I believe we will.
Committee meeting? Okay.
Yes.
The committee of the whole meeting will be Monday, May 18th at 6 o'clock. The next committee is Public Health and Safety. Ms. Michael?
I believe I am having a committee meeting.
Okay. Streets and Sidewalks, Mr. Harper.
We will be having a meeting.
Personnel, Dr. Calfee.
Yes, committee meeting for us next Monday.
Ms. West informed me that she is planning a Community and Economic Development Committee meeting with a presentation from NDS. We will have a Finance Committee meeting. I'm not sure what else Ms. Lawrence might have to discuss, but I want to continue our discussion about the adult cannabis tax revenue. Mr. Moskin, do you have a report from the Cemetery Board?
Right now, this is just something trivial. On May 15th, weather permitting, there'll be several high school students going to the cemetery to plant a variety of flowers.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And we did get some prints back this last meeting for the roof of the chapel. So that, there is progress right there.
Okay.
So
Sounds,
it won't be probably too long at all. There'll be some bids from specialty companies because there aren't a lot of companies that actually do slate.
okay. Sounds good, thank you.
Yes.
And again, Mr. Maravich is not here to give us a Parks and Recreation report. So we'll move on to ordinances on first reading. Let's start with ordinance number 2026-73.
An ordinance authorizing the purchase of a new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 250 HD from Olaf Ford Sales Incorporated in the amount of $62,629 for the water treatment plant and declaring an emergency.
This is from our Utilities Committee, Mr. Moskin.
Yes, they have a price that's actually lower from Sarshone Chevy. And I'd have to look here, but I believe it's in Garrettsville. And I was sent an email sometime this morning that at the water treatment plant, they noticed a mistake of some sort, however it is, but they wanted to make sure that it was corrected to have that from Sarshone. If they waited for OLAF, this would be coming from somewhere in Kansas. So you have a bigger fee, it would wait quite a bit longer to get here. Plus when it's around number 4,000 less from Sarshone for the exact same specs.
So we have a problem we have to somehow reconcile. The ordinance as prepared was actually based on the quote from the dealership that was potentially higher than the one from Sarshone. Now, I noticed in our packet, I did find where it's listed at 57,502. That's on the first page of the quote where it says order workbench from Sarshone. But what bothers me a little bit, unless, excuse me, when you add up the figures underneath it, it comes out to 60,860. So I'm a little confused about.
Well, then it would still be less.
It would still be less, right? We do have the amount listed in the actual ordinance.
Where was it originally coming from?
Well,
That's the question.
at the
Because I
water
always
treat.
heard it was Sarshone. I don't remember it being anywhere else.
Well, she did get two prices only for one reason. Because most departments go automatically through state purchase, which is OLAF. So she wanted to get the two prices just to find out if the exact same spec truck would have been less expensive from a local dealer.
So was it another local dealer she went with?
Only one, and that was Sarshone up in Garrettsville.
She
And this
did
other-
confirm. She
Pardon?
confirmed to me that it was Sarshone, so I do know that is the one she's going with. She had told me, Amy, originally, that she had done that just to show that she had gone through a source well provider to make sure we understood.
Yes,
that-
she just submitted it to show she'd gone to another place.
Right.
And by accident, that name showed up then on the ordinance as they were looking through the papers. So
Yeah.
it needs to be
It was
Sarshone, and it's
confusing.
clearly Sarshone.
And I'm looking, I think we do have this money appropriated. I don't think that's.
That-
that's
it
the
is.
issue. Yeah, so that's, so.
Actually, more money than that's
More
appropriated.
money than needs to be appropriated.
Yes.
So that, the amount is not.
Well, there's no money appropriated because
Yeah,
there's already
so-
funds available. I believe $65,000.
Yeah, but you need, I don't know if you were changing the amount in the ordinance, yeah.
I guess the only, I mean, obviously what we need to do is change the wording of the ordinance to point to the quote from Sarshone. I'm just not sure about the amount I mean, we don't usually do like a ceiling in an ordinance, but I suppose, I mean, we did that for when we did the electric aggregation, but that was because it was a moving target. My only concern is that we're going to get, if we get the 57,502 price that is highlighted, because it says that, then it says plus dock fees.
Right.
So we don't, 489, so we'd have to add those two numbers. But if you add up the numbers underneath, they don't match, and I'm confused by that.
So why wouldn't we just make it for a higher amount and then, then whatever is left over, we just, up to? I mean, we've done it in the past like this. I think we're making it more difficult than it has to be.
Okay, right here, I have this paper from last week, 65 already appropriated in the 26 budget.
Yeah.
So
we already
what's,
know
So the
that. Well, okay, so why don't we,
So the cash is there, ready for the truck, so all they have to do
That's
is
what I said, we
drive to
appropriate
Garrettsville.
more
yeah,
than this
all we
even.
have to
Yeah.
do is just appropriate it or.
Yes.
And,
money doesn't need to be appropriated, we just need to change the ordinance.
okay, then let's
But
do
the-
it.
Yes,
Not to exceed,
Yeah.
what, 61,000?
Yeah, okay, that would be a good number.
Yeah.
Because your number was a little north of 60,000?
Yeah, just under 61. All right, so we'll need to change where it says from Olaf Ford sales to from Sarshone Ford sales? I don't know.
yeah, no, this
I'm
is
trying to get
Chevy,
the- Chevy?
yes. Yes,
Verify Silverado is a
26 Chevy
Oh,
Silverado,
okay,
three-quarter, well,
okay.
2,500, same thing.
So we went from a Ford dealership to a Chevy.
No, it was
No.
always a Chevy here.
No, I'm talking about the dealership.
No, the dealer, yeah. So we need to amend the ordinance to correct it to
figure out what the-
Sarshone and say not to exceed
Exceed 60s.
61,000.
Fine. From just Sarshone? I
Yeah,
mean, do they have
Sarshone.
Yes,
do they have an official name?
It's our show.
well, Sarshone Chevy.
I'm sure we've purchased from them before.
Well, I'm not sure if
so-
it's the one from Garrettsville or, I know the one down in Telminster's been purchased is there.
It's the one in Garrettsville. I
Yes.
remember talking about this
It
at the
is.
last committee, so
Yes.
let's,
It's called
don't.
Sarshone
The more we,
Garrettsville.
Yes.
we're gonna get ourselves confused, I think, if we keep,
Repeating this, and
yeah,
Well, we have to get the ordinance changed correctly.
we,
So we want to make sure it says what we're doing.
Right.
So,
Who are we writing the check to?
Sarshone Chevy,
There you go.
okay. So in the title, we need to change, in the second line where it says from Olaf Ford Sales, Inc., to from Sarshone Chevy, or Chevrolet, in an amount, you couldn't, not to exceed $61,000. That's the only thing that needs to
Yep.
change in the title.
What about the actual
And then
ordinance?
then in the ordinance, this third whereas, no, okay, wait, what are they?
I just had it up here.
All right, so section 1 needs to change the second line where it says from Olaf Ford Sales, Inc., to from the same Sarshone Chevrolet. And then is hereby authorized in a sum not to exceed $61,000. I think those are the only two changes. Does everybody understand those changes?
yes.
Then can we get a motion from somebody to amend the ordinance?
I'll make a motion to amend this ordinance from Olaf Ford to Sarshone Chevrolet in Garrettsville.
I'll second that.
And the amount not to exceed
And-
61,000.
Yes,
Joint effort here. Okay, and you seconded it?
Yes, I did.
have a roll call.
Mr. Kelfi, I'm sorry, Mr. Moskin,
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a motion to suspend the 3 separate readings?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And the ordinance has an emergency clause. Do we have a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
So moved.
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And do we have a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Okay, that ordinance stands approved. The next ordinance is ordinance 2026-75.
An ordinance authorizing Ravenna City Council to appoint blank and blank to the Tax Incentive Review Council in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code and declaring an emergency.
Okay, and this is from Community and Economic Development. Ms. West isn't here, but we did approve the minutes in our consent agenda for the Turf Board. Now, Ms. Lawrence, do we have names to fill in?
I have 3 names, and I just have to confirm. I haven't had a chance to talk to Mr. Semino to confirm that we're doing the right thing, and it's not needed in a rush, so I
Okay.
can put it in the top of my priorities.
Okay, since this one will need amendment and we don't have names to plug in, we'll just leave this for a
Thank
second
you.
reading.
I appreciate it.
All right, that concludes ordinances on first reading. We have no ordinances on second reading, and we have no ordinances on third reading. Is there any old business to present here at the council?
I just wanted to, since it's somewhat of an old business, say thank you to our committee that has been working hard on the levy. And I want to say thank you to Chief Chappell. As I was driving down Freedom Street, he was walking in his shorts and he had his T-shirt on and he was going from door to door and he didn't see me. I was at the stoplight, but he was moving pretty quick. And he actually had a smile on his face as he was walking, so it was noticed. So I want to say thank you. And Carmen was out there and she posted her picture. I didn't post a picture. I was honestly scared at some of the houses I went to because I didn't know. It was just, I don't know. Nowadays, you just never know how people are going to react. And but it was a different feeling when I was out. But I do hope that people will consider taking a chance and giving Ravenna a new safety center, and I think it's over needed. And again, thank you to especially Bob Walker, who has opened up his house to everyone, and I appreciate it. So thank you to everyone.
I didn't get any negative feedback, by the way. In fact, one woman was, as I was approaching, she was like, "You don't have to give me any of that stuff." She goes, "I already voted and I voted for it." I was like, "Oh, well, thank you." Yeah.
Okay, any other old business? Is there any new business? Okay, then we'll move on. I have a few items I want to present for my remarks tonight. The first is, if you haven't voted yet, please do. I know it's an odd time to vote for some people, and there may not seem to be a whole lot going on, but there are some primary elections, and of course, was just mentioned, our ballot initiative to build a new safety building in City Hall is on the ballot for people to choose how they want to vote on that. My goal moving forward this year is to try to keep our regular, special, and committee of the whole meetings to a reasonable length of time. We've been having some fairly lengthy meetings, and not to say that We have wasted a whole bunch of time. I think we've been dealing with a lot of very complicated issues, and I appreciate everyone's attention and discussion on those things. But I do want to be respectful for not just our audience, but council members and those others who need to stay late when we have our late meetings. So hopefully tonight will be a good example. Next, I want to schedule a special meeting on May 11th, a week from tonight, for the purpose of holding an executive session. There'll be no business. Therefore, I'd like to start it at 5:30, and I'm just curious if anybody who has a problem getting here by 5:30. That way it wouldn't impact the regular schedule of committee meetings if we can get things done in a half an hour. Anybody have difficulty?
I don't, I just have one question, because I know some executive sessions can be short, and some can go very long. So my comment is, do you believe, I don't know, whatever the topic is, can be taken care of and?
I'm hoping so, because one of the items we've already talked about, this will be right before the Personnel Committee. And so my hope is that we're all familiar with what the plan of action is with regard to a couple of personnel items, and therefore we could more efficiently handle the Personnel Committee meeting itself. I can't guarantee it will be done by 30 minutes, but I hope it won't take very much longer than that. But yes.
We have our shade tree meeting at 5 o'clock on most Mondays. I mean, I can always excuse myself. Sometimes we're done in a half hour, but sometimes we're not, so.
Okay.
But it shouldn't be an issue.
All right. I appreciate knowing that.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. All right, good. Then that will be the plan. And then we'll just have our regular committee meetings following that. I also want to schedule a special meeting for May 18th. That would be following the committee of the whole meeting. And it's going to be my third attempt to try to present a discussion about our legislative process as it exists now, and with some proposed changes and efficiency, you know, to make the process go a lot more smoother and a lot more efficiently. So hopefully, in the past couple of months when I've tried to schedule this, we've had other issues, and I didn't want to bring this up very late in the evening. I want to make sure we have time to discuss this. And again, it's an opportunity for us to talk about how we do our business and hopefully consider ways we can make that process a little more efficient. Another thing I'm looking to do, you might have gotten a notice, or you all should have gotten a notice from our clerk, and she has attended the open meetings Sunshine Law presentation. Now, I think all of you have done that at some point, but now that you're established on council, she takes it for us, which is a kind of a funny approach to doing this. But I'm considering having somebody, hiring a consultant to come in and give us a workshop. Not just us, because there are other committees, commissions, and boards throughout the city that have to adhere to our sunshine laws as well. The clerk and I are looking to see if there's a consultant that might be able to come and give us a workshop, not anytime in the near future, but perhaps sometime over the summer, if we can make it happen. And I think it's always a good idea to have a little refresher course for all of us to make sure we're all on board. And sometimes we have questions about these things. So looking forward to that. And then lastly, I was given this notice. You know, if you haven't been aware, we've had several movies kind of produced here in Ravenna. And some of us have attended like premieres of those. Well, a movie called The Last Shop on Walnut was filmed largely in Ravenna, mostly downtown. And they're looking to have, as a result of them doing their filming here, a premiere at our local movie theater on May 28th. The tickets would be $30. The doors would open at 6. The show would start at 7 o'clock. There'll be cast members there, question and answer. photo ops, and an after-party. We're not exactly sure, but perhaps at the winery if we can arrange it. So keep your eyes open. We'll put this on our website, I believe, and we'll invite people to come and experience movie making in Ravenna. All right, with that, I'll end. Let's start tonight here with Mr. Moskin, your remarks for this evening.
Yes, I have a little bit. Been in contact with different businesses in the toward the middle of town, and they're overly excited about the recent police foot patrol, and they don't know the really right words to express the gratitude. I'll just say that, and I just wanted to make sure to mention that. That's all the comments that I have for today.
Thank you. Dr. Calfee.
I would just like to say, I'm really liking our on-air sign here.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
I can't see it.
No.
Yes, it looks very good. I like it. That's all I have.
Ms. Lodato?
I would just like to give a little bit of an update about the redistricting and the ad hoc committee that met. I think I can say that we all got a lot out of that workshop. The possibilities. I think I would like to meet as an ad hoc committee one more time, as we have a lot of the people who have already submitted their versions of maps. And I think before it comes to my planning committee, I think it's best to kind of narrow it down in the ad hoc and not come before all of council with like 20 different maps. But one thing, and speaking more to Mr. Moskin's point, one of the things that we brought up, and I know, Ms. Michael, you said there's some historical discussion around this, is that our downtown is actually intersected 4 ways, and so there's not a dedicated representative for our downtown. We have all 4 wards that intersect there, and there's really different and specific needs to our downtown. And so it's not a bad idea, especially in light of some things that have come out on social media today, to really have somebody who is dedicated to that area and not have it split 4 ways. So I don't know, but I think that if anybody watched online or was there in person, Mr. Selenius, I know you're actually on the committee, and you submitted 6 different maps. I'm glad. I'm so happy that people are embracing the process, and I'm really excited to see where that goes. And I know the League of Women Voters of Kent were very excited to be part of Ravenna's effort. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Michael?
Yes, Chief Chappell let me know that the safety intervention grant, they did receive it. So that is some exciting news. They definitely do a wonderful job on receiving grants. So thank you on that, and that's exciting news. The other thing is, and going back to what Carmen said, I did take one of the maps that were brought from Kent State to the high school with instructions to the government class. So I gave it to Miss Calhoun and dropped it off. So she was really excited to let the kids play around and see what they come up with. So I just thought it was a neat thing to let them play around with it and see how the redistricting works. So, like I said, it's something to let our children play around with and see what they come up with. So thank you with that. And they did a great job. So Kent State with the redistricting ideas that they presented to us. So, but other than that, that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Harper?
Nothing additional.
Okay, we'll move on. The next item is remarks from the mayor. Mayor Seaman, do you have some remarks for us tonight?
A lot of it has been covered, but there's been a lot of activity with people getting ready for summer events, and they're coming from a variety of places. If you have something that you're expecting to happen, you need to get it on writing and on the calendar, because we have a lot going to be going on, especially in the downtown area. With this, I met today for over an hour with the lady that owns the new bookstore. They were also very, very happy with the quickness that the Ravenna Police Department got involved and with doing the walks through town. And I think that we're going to see a lot of goodwill there. And we want the town always to be safe for visitors to come here. And I've spent most of the last week and a half working on it because a lot of it's redundant. We've got it in motion, it's being taken care of, but somebody else gets on to special media and they think it's brand new. And that's not the case. We got on this immediately. And we sat down as a group and decided what was the best thing to do. And the police department's been very cooperative. Thank you.
Okay. The last thing we have on our agenda is an executive session. We've been asked to go into an executive session to discuss the purchase of property. Is it legal matters as well? Just briefly. Okay, so is there a motion to enter an executive session to consider the purchase of property for the public purposes, since the premature disclosure of information regarding the purchase will give an unfair competitive or bargaining advantage to a person whose personal private interest is adverse to the general public interest, as well as to discuss impending legal matters?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yep.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Okay, we're going into an executive session, and we will not be conducting any business afterwards. Thank you all for showing up tonight.